Hello and welcome to the College March podcast with March Consulting, your college experts. I'm your host, Kat Klaus. I'm the founder and CEO of March Consulting. And over the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of families through the college admissions process, guiding students to the colleges of their dreams. I'm going to change up our tradition at the beginning of each episode, and I'm going to start sharing some more quick tips for future students and parents who are listening. These are ways that you can get your student prepared for the college admissions process or to grow into the people they are going to become. My first tip is what we hear more often actually, the last couple years from professors, admissions officers, and employers. And that is wishing that students would read more on their own, independently of school. Now, I know with a lot of extracurricular activities and the pace of the world now that can be really difficult. However, we've seen a sharp decrease in students reading for fun. They're mostly reading for school now. And I experienced that as a college student, not so much in high school, but I'm seeing it more and more with the high school students that I'm in contact with. So one of the best things that you can help your student do, or students who are listening, one of the best things that you can do to prepare for college is to start reading books just for the enjoyment of it. Now, you do want to challenge yourself a little bit. Some colleges, especially those that are really competitive, may ask in an interview or on your application about books that you've read outside of class. So I want to challenge you to maybe step a little bit away from the young adult section of the bookstore or the library, although they have some great books too. I don't want you to be all serious reading all the time. I want you to explore a little bit more, especially if you are thinking about a particular major or career path. Start exploring and reading a little bit more about leaders in that area, biographies. You can challenge yourself maybe to start looking into the greatest books of all time. Now, do you need to read War and Peace? No, you do not have to unless you want to, but try it out and see what you think of it. A lot of times with scholarship interviews and admissions interviews, they are going to ask that question. And so having a little bit now to start talking about and sharing your opinions about certain books and topics is a great way for you to get a slight advantage, but then also help you to become a well-rounded adult where you can interact with a whole bunch of different people and have more knowledge about different things. For STEM students, I would highly recommend that you look at books for STEM students. There's a lot of lists of top books that future engineers should read about design and building and biographies about inventors. It doesn't have to be literature. It could also be about making things. So highly recommend that you check that out. That's my tip for this episode. Make sure you pick up a couple different books to read for fun. And another just quick tip is that it doesn't have to be that you're reading 7 chapters a day. If you can read through a couple pages a night before you go to bed, that's going to make a big difference. Because I know with homework and everything else, it can get really hectic. 1 or 2 pages a night, you'll be amazed at how much you get read at the end of the year. On today's episode, we're continuing our theme of understanding college costs. And I admit that I've been working on weaving in different options to this big chapter because I found that if I get into the nuances and the details about financial aid too much, people's eyes tend to glaze over and roll back into their heads. And so I'm trying to make it a little bit more exciting and to give you more options outside of the specifics of the FAFSA or student loans to exercise to lower college costs. Next episode, I'm going to talk about the CSS profile, which is sometimes an additional application that colleges will use to determine need-based aid. And I say sometimes because not every school uses the CSS profile. There are about 300 schools in the U.S. that use it. Following that episode, we'll discuss how aid might change for families who have different circumstances, like families that are separated, divorced, and we'll put together and I'll explain some of the nuances of the FAFSA and CSS profile and how some schools will consider different assets like home equity in their calculations, how those circumstances will change aid calculations, etc. So we'll get into the details the next 2 episodes. Today, I wanted to introduce you to a small group of colleges across the country that have made it their mission to provide students not only with great work experience and a strong resume before they graduate, but opportunities to minimize tuition and costs for families. Did you know that there are 8 work colleges across the country that share this particular mission? They're all over the country. These colleges either offer full tuition or full cost scholarships to students, or work to reduce costs by offering students stipends in exchange for their work on campus. They're all private colleges focused on their students, giving them smaller class sizes, amazing learning opportunities, and all at a greatly reduced rate than most private schools. They are recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, and they have to meet certain criteria to be considered work colleges. They include Warren Wilson College, Berea College, Paul Quinn College, College of the Ozarks, Alice Lloyd College, Blackburn College, Sterling College, and Bethany Global University. And don't worry, in our show notes, I'm going to provide a link to the Work Colleges Consortium, which has not only each school that is part of the consortium, but a lot of great facts. You can go to their website from there and what constitutes a work college. They are small in number, and unfortunately, there's only 8 of them. We wish there were more, but they are mighty, and they have enough to offer any student, whether they be more environmentally minded, want a faith-based education, or want to discover their potential major by perhaps working while going to school. You'll find great opportunities at all of these work colleges. So let's talk about a few unique work colleges. I'm not going to cover all of them, but I did want to cover at least 3, what they can offer your student, not only to reduce college costs, but as they grow as professionals. Let's start first with Warren Wilson College. They are located in Swannanoa, North Carolina, and if I butchered the name of that town, I apologize. I'm on the West Coast, and I know that if you're not from the area, sometimes you mispronounce towns. They have a student population of about 700 students, and their work-study program consists of students working on campus with a select work crew. And there are over 85 choices that span a huge variety of options for students. Their academic work crew allows students to work, for example, in different academic departments, like becoming an archaeology assistant or a chemistry assistant. In their administrative crews, work includes working at the health center, information technology, or media design. They have craft design crews where you can work in blacksmithing or fiber arts. They have land management crews, or you can take care of the farm there on campus, work with the animals, or work in forestry. There are a great number of experiences, all which give students insight into skills development and how they can apply that experience to a career. Finally, they do have a community engagement requirement where students can give back and get involved in the community using what they're learning to help solve some of the community's issues, problems, and come up with great solutions. They have 20 full majors, 25 different concentrations, and 33 minors. So a lot of great choices. Some highlights of their majors include more traditional majors like biology and chemistry, business. They have pre-professional programs like pre-med, pre-veterinary paths, pre-law. And they also have unique programs like allied geospatial technology, ecological forestry, and water and earth resources. They have athletics on campus, so students can participate in both men's and women's basketball, cross country, lacrosse, soccer, swimming, and tennis. They have a nationally ranked cycling team where they can compete. Students can compete in mountain biking, road cycling, and cyclocross. I'm actually not familiar with cyclocross, so I'm going to have to look that up. And finally, if you're more outdoorsy, they have canoeing, kayaking, timber sports, archery, and a wide variety of other intramural sports. Now let's get down to how they make college more affordable. They have a full tuition program for North Carolina students, in addition to a program called the Milepost One that awards 25 students a full tuition scholarship. If students don't qualify for the Milepost One scholarship, they have other merit scholarships up to $18,500 a year, independent of the work program, where students are given a stipend for their work, which grants money for students working on campus. Warren Wilson students are known for their commitment to environmentalism, environmental sustainability, diversity, and social justice. And they have been called one of the most earth-friendly colleges on the planet, best buys, and other great accolades. So if your student is really outdoorsy, if they're looking to get their hands dirty and really build skills that will make them successful in life and possibly for graduate school. A lot of Warren Wilson students go on to amazing graduate programs. This is a great school for them to check out. The next that I want to bring to your attention is Berea College in Berea, Kentucky. They're about 1,700 undergraduates, and while most of their students, about 70% of them, come from the Appalachian region and Kentucky, there are 41 states, 2 U.S. territories, and 76 countries other than the U.S. represented at Berea. Their work-study program is a little bit different. You start at basic levels of work, and as you gain more skills, you progress up the ladder to more responsibility with duties that require more skills from each student. They boast hundreds of jobs in 120 departmental programs that range from working on the Berea farm to acting as research assistants in different labs and avenues of study. So again, a wide variety of positions for students to take advantage of according to their interests and their skill sets. In addition to work study, students also learn how to tackle community issues and get involved through their service learning requirement, where Berea students have opportunity to take a service-based class in over 20 different academic areas and apply that knowledge to various community issues and problems. So students partner with the school, the community, and other organizations to work towards solutions. So experiential learning, a lot of great hands-on opportunities, and taking what they're learning in class and applying it to the world around them. Berea offers 30 different majors, including an independent option where you can design your own major. Their majors span from, again, the more traditional like biology and English to specialized majors like health and human performance, engineering, technology, and applied design, and agriculture and natural resources. And in fact, their nursing program, where students can earn a bachelor's of science in nursing, was ranked as number 5 among the 50 best residential BSN programs in the nation. So amazing nursing program. Berea funds their students' college costs through their endowment, and this tradition has sustained since the 1920s. All 1,600 Berea students receive a tuition promise scholarship valued at $44,000 a year, which covers full tuition. And while students do pay for their housing and meals, they're able to use grants to pay for that, It's only when a family cannot pay their expected family contribution that Berea will offer loans, which means that most students graduate with little to no debt at all. According to Berea, the median debt for all 2019 graduates was $305, which when you consider the median debt across the country in the $20,000, $30,000 range, $305 is pretty good. So if you're looking for an amazing liberal arts college in the Kentucky area, check out Berea. Some great programs. As I said, each work college has a little bit of a different mission, environment, learning style. So I encourage you to look at each and see if any of them fit your family and what you're looking for out of an institution. Finally, I wanted to introduce you to Paul Quinn College. Paul Quinn is a faith-based 4-year liberal arts-inspired college in Dallas, Texas, and it is the first urban work college. They're located in Dallas, as I said, and it's the first HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College and University, and minority-serving institution to be recognized as a work college. In 2015, they adopted a new financial structure to reduce student tuition and fees to enable graduates to graduate with less than $10,000 in student loan debt. Their residential students, the students that are there on campus, typically have about a $7,000 a year award, which is divided up between a work program scholarship and a monthly stipend. They also have a corporate work program where that stipend and scholarship can go up to $15,000 a year. And so they've partnered with corporations around the area for students to gain even more work experience and build their resumes. Their work-study program on campus boasts of more than 35 different workstations that students can choose from, and each station has a supervisor who mentors students and helps to teach them the skills they'll need to be successful. Again, as I said, they have a variety of different corporate partners that the students can work for as well. Paul Quinn's motto is "We over me." They focus on entrepreneurial experiential learning, meaning that their students are putting what they're learning in the classroom to work solving, again, big problems in the world with great solutions. Their focus is to have graduates change the world. They also have a unique Center for Civic Engagement, Entrepreneurship, and Leadership that works to help further develop students into leaders across all areas of their lives. So not simply academically, but to get involved in their community, to get involved civically, and to personally become leaders and entrepreneurs in their lives. Paul Quinn offers a variety of different majors, which include business with programs in accounting, entrepreneurship, fundraising and philanthropy, which is very unique and amazing, and management. They have legal studies, health and wellness, religious studies. They have liberal arts with a path to teaching, and liberal arts with concentrations in areas like communication, general studies, history, political science, math, and psychology. If your student's an athlete, they also have men and women's basketball, cross country, men and women's soccer, and women's volleyball teams that all compete at the NAIA level. So definitely recommend that you check out Paul Quinn in Dallas, Texas as well. They are growing and they're doing amazing things. Work colleges, as I said, this is another great opportunity for your student and your family to go get the college experience that they're looking for less money, because again, you have other things to spend your money on. And what's unique about them, as I mentioned, is it's not only about your students studying, but gaining great skills and experiences that make them successful getting jobs and becoming leaders later on in life. A big question that a lot of students ask when I introduce work colleges is how much are you working on campus? And it varies per college, but it's usually anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week, so part-time. And you'll find that the college will try its best to match your student with a position in which they're interested in. And so I highly recommend that you consider some of these work colleges. In our show notes, I'm going to be linking the College Consortium as well as the websites of the colleges that I mentioned so that you can check those out as well. Again, on our next episode, we're going to be covering more mechanics of the financial aid process with the CSS profile. And in the episode after that, we'll be focusing on alternate and different situations that colleges take in consideration with assets, with families that are separated, divorced, etc., and what that process looks like. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can go to our website, mymarchconsulting.com, or you can email us, info@mymarchconsulting.com. We have opened up our March Academy for the class of 2022. So if your student or you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed about the admissions process, you can find that on our website and get some guidance there as you go along this process this fall. It's 100% online, and we'll have live Q&As with myself and our other consultants. Again, our website is mymarchconsulting.com. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Leave us a review. Everyone out there, stay safe, and we'll see you next episode.